Well, hello, welcome back again. We are now delving into the teaching live component of the Course Creator Circle Summit. For those of you who are in the last session, I did just touch base quickly with LinkTube's people. They are doing a little bit of site maintenance, which is why our tool list did not work. So I will go back, replay sessions later on, put the details and make sure that they will work for us. Now, today's session, or the next session that we are about to delve into, is teaching live. So we're talking about teaching live when it comes to course creation. Now, I'm a big fan of teaching live. There's a number of reasons I like it. Number one is because I get to know my students. Number two is I get to engage with them along the way. So we'll delve into now some tips and tricks about teaching live, what you need to have in your live creation toolkit. And yes, watch the last session's example about how we don't always teach live along the way. So if you are joining me, please say hello. Please make sure that we are live and we're ready to go. I'm just checking on my end that that's what things are working where they should be. They definitely are. Teaching live lessons and courses is going live inside the Course Creator Circle community. So we are getting ready to go and just making sure that everyone can hear me while it's just me here by myself for a second. Yep, we are ready to go. Okay. Hey, Dorothy, you're welcome back. I was saying last night to my husband how much of a commitment you had to be here to get through all of yesterday's sessions, especially given the time differences between here and Scotland. So thank you so much. I know how much of a commitment that is, and I appreciate the commitment that you've made to coming through and learning some great stuff. Okay, so I will make sure that we get all of the links that we mention in all of our sessions. I don't think I mentioned too many in this one. All of our links in our sessions to be able to get through. Now, bearing in mind, this is my third presentation for the day, so that I don't confuse myself, I do have notes for this one because I'm going through the summit, and just a little bit of an explanation why I've been off my game, which is fair to a few people, as I've had a girlfriend lose her father suddenly at the start of this summit. Which has meant that my head's just been supporting her and her family along the way as well. And I've been a little bit sleep deprived. And so I wanted to explain why I was off my game in the last session, just in case someone was going, what the hell is this woman on? Okay, let's delve into teaching live online lessons. Okay, so you know me by now. You've been here long enough in this summit to know who I am. Live online teaching offers a wide range of benefits, including increased accessibility and flexibility for our people. And cost effectiveness along the way, because we're not looking at having to have a whole storage platform like something like Thinkific or something like that to go through. So it does allow us a lot of benefits when it comes to our course creation journey. And for me, I like to quite often deliver my beta or my live courses either as a series of webinars and then stitch them all together as a course, or as a live challenge along the way. And that's good. Oh, Junie, thank you saying that I've done a good job of being able to recover from glitches. It's lovely. I appreciate all of that. But I did want to explain why I'm not on my game. I'm definitely not on my game. For managing all that thing. So I appreciate it. And in some ways, I actually feel like it's teaching you guys that when you teach live, stuff happens. You will get glitches. But sometimes you also get a really understanding community that works with you along the way. So live teaching offers us a wide range of benefits. As I said, I like to run them either as a series of webinars, work out whether they're working, what gaps did I have in the course, and then run courses there from a live level. And you saw yesterday, as we were talking, I changed some of the live training that we're about to do for our Course Creator Circle members and inside the Course Creator Circle. I changed our session for April to be a how-to session, for April to be our bear with me, AI training. So it allows you to be flexible and move with your people. And if you want to, please feel free and go and have a look at the event that we've got there. So we're talking about the training and workshop. So if you're a VIP member, you get access to it. If not, you can come in and we can do that session all on AI creation for course creation. And it allows you that flexibility to change. And that's what I do love about it. It's a really handy tool from there to being able to change. And if you get and we've all been there, if you've taught in a classroom and you've got a series of deer in headlight teaching moments where people are going, no, this is not making any sense to me. Live teaching allows you to be able to change. It allows you to be there on the spot. I know there's moments in time where I've looked at everything. I've got everyone in a training room and a live training. I've got all these faces on screen and I've started and they're all looking at me going, no way, do we have a clue what she's talking about? So I've got thrown the notes away and said, right, we're going to teach something else today. We're going to look at what you need to, where are you at with your journey? You take a quick survey of the room and you need to look at teaching from there. My first journey into online teaching was allowing me to reach a wider range of students. If you don't know about it, we run the Facebook group called Business, Business, Business. That Facebook group has 33,500 members. So part of the problem I had was being able to reach all of our members. And no matter where I ran a workshop, where in the world, wherever I was going, it just, didn't work. There wasn't the connectivity for people to be able to get in there. And if you want to join BBB, you feel free. Here is the group. Here is the group for you to be able to join. All right, so, but I wasn't able to get there. So it allowed me to have more interactive experiences. It allows for people like Dorothy or Dot to be here tonight from Scotland. It allows Kat to be joining me from New Zealand. It allows my membership to be an international offering. And I absolutely love that. And it allows for more interactive learning experiences. We're able to chat. You're able to go, hey, Linda, you weren't sharing your screen. And I don't, walk around the office swearing later going, I've just recorded 3 hours worth of video content without sharing my screen. And because it all happens to all of us, believe me, we think we're doing something and we haven't done it. So all right, but yeah, it is. It's about being able to connect and do all of those sorts of things, and it allows for everyone to be able to come in. And I really think that that's amazing. And I love that interaction with my students. And I say even getting in the physical classroom is something I love to do because it feeds me, it tells me what the next course I need to be able to create. And the benefits for our students is through thought discussion programs, forums, even just in our last session, you're all sharing different tips and tricks along the way. Thank you very much. You love my work. Different tips and tricks along the way about how do you feature students and how they can learn from each other and they can provide feedback to each other in real time. And I find that extremely beneficial, especially within our group programs. I know my Marketing Circle members and the Course Creator Circle VIP members are great in being able to support each other. They provide feedback to each other and they bring a different perspectives than what I bring as a coach. And that's amazing when we have people taking things to market and working with each other. So that's another benefit. Teaching live also has benefits for us as instructors. As I said, it allows real-time access. It's my favorite reason for teaching online. Let's be really honest. For teaching live, it just allows us to be able to access our students. It also allows us to make sure that we know that what we're delivering suits them, but it gives us our future courses. You will hear me if you read anything from me or listen to any of my podcasts. I say, listen to your students. Your students will tell you what they want to learn next. And quite often, it isn't the next course you have in your head. It's the course that they need that's in their head. And it's just a matter of shuffling. We had to do the same thing in creating our courses. Even my course plan that we will launch this year has changed because the needs of our students have changed. And that's where live training really helps us being able to tap into seeing where those gaps are. So live training also, I'm going back to another sip of coffee. And if anyone wants to know, yes, I am a primary school trained teacher, so I can drink cold coffee. Online learning or live learning engages the learning styles really well. I haven't touched much on learning styles, but I'm a big believer in touching into those learning styles and engaging with them. So you've got visual learners who get to learn through the video conferencing. We can provide visual aids, little workflows, little tips and slides that will engage those visual learners along the way. So they get happy with us teaching a live course. Auditory learners get to listen in. They get to have that live online conversation. They can speak back. And if you're doing live lectures or live courses, in my group coaching and my group mentoring and how-to sessions, we normally throw the microphone over to our people to be able to ask questions. So if they've got a question, they can actually verbalize it as well. And that works really well for auditory learners and both verbal learners. Kinesthetic learners get to engage with other learners throughout the activity. And sometimes that's the hands-on bit that they need to do, or they get to see how something is done. And that triggers their mind and how they interact through live online training as well. And it's really handy. And, bearing in mind, when I'm talking about teaching live, I'm not just talking about online live. You can teach live in classroom as well. And it's an amazing experience to watch people get those things. Some workshops I'll deliver planning sheets and all sorts of things and trees and content. We're doing a content planning immersion 3 days where I'm literally just writing out the planning sheets, and I'm not taking a presentation. I'm taking physical stuff that people can do and supporting them with materials using Thinkific and Wobo. So there's options of being able to bring those materials through to support our students, but also create a good learning experience. And social learners. Live online courses provide opportunities for collaboration for students, through the discussion, through the chat. We've seen all that stuff come into gear, and it also helps us engage social learners who thrive through working with each other. So it allows for those brainstorming sessions, all of those things from there. And I really do love that, seeing other people work together and engaging that area. You'll find lots of learners have a touch of this social learner in them, unless they're really, really introverted and do self-paced. They're not, but they're definitely watching your replay. They're not coming into the live learning. They're more suited to our evergreen courses. So what do we need to teach online? We need a reliable internet connection. If you were in my office this morning, you would have seen me moving my modem around to get the best internet connection that I possibly could from there. We then need a good camera that's going to be able to go through a computer, so a good computer or laptop that's going to go through. They would then need a good camera. Now, you don't have to spend a fortune. I didn't actually include our toolkit for cameras and those sorts of things, but I should do. So having a good camera that's going to stream for you. Now, if you're using tools like Restream, you can actually just go straight from your tablet or your phone. But if you're wanting something a little bit better, the Logitech C922 is a great webcam to being able to connect up to your computer. It connects up simply and easily. And, it's got some, bit of beautifying features and adding nice light. You can have lights. So you can have lights like I've got behind me, or I've got over to the side over here that will light you up, but they're not necessary. You do need good video conferencing software. So whether that's Google Meet, whether it's Restream, whether it's Zoom, you need a good opportunity from there. Microphone, if you can grab it. I use a lapel mic, but I also use, and I can't know if I can pick him up. You can hear me pick him up. I've got not enough cable today. I've got a Rode NTB Mini that sits on my desk, and it's a good audio pickup, and it will work through that process from there. A registration page is another thing that we need. Yes, you've got the Brio. Clive got the Brio, but it doesn't do 4K. None of the platforms I use do 4K, so I couldn't justify the Brio. Stephanie's got the Brio. It's a very good platform. It's really handy. Logitech's are good cameras, so that's all very good. So, okay, so making sure that we've also got then a registration page. So with most of my live courses, like this one, I'll do a registration page through Eventbrite. Now, I might choose to still have the content going out via YouTube, or I might choose to have it then gated into something inside Thinkific. So I'll mix between Thinkific and I'll mix between Thinkific, and I'm just looking at Stacey's sad face in the comments. I'll mix between Thinkific and I'll mix between Eventbrite for our registrations. Then that registration page needs to go through to your email sequences. So like we showed before, connection between Zapier and whatever our registration platform is, and the email sequence from there. Then we need our materials. So what are we going to deliver? Our presentation. If we've got handouts, we need our handouts, and a plan for student engagement. So asking questions along the line. So part of what we're doing, particularly engagement in the summit, is I've been asking you which bits do you want to see next. But also we've got our panel, which is a plan for student engagement along the way. And then we need some flexibility, because live online training, as I said, is an environment where we've got humans in the classroom. So we might need to adapt a little bit along the way. And sometimes things happen, like screen sharing doesn't work and all of those sorts of things. So you need to be a little bit flexible. The live online training options that you have available to you as a course creator are things like webinars. Excuse me, I take a sip of water. Webinars are a great opportunity to deliver your content and your message in mass. Okay, they don't have to have a huge amount of engagement because they're normally done for about an hour. They can be paid, they can be free. I love them as lead magnets. So we'll run a webinar as a lead magnet, and then we'll nurture people through to the opportunity to buy. They are great to lead people through to your course or your membership. You can run evergreen webinars as well, but I do like the live training options of webinars. Once again, we get a bit of feedback from people about what they're wanting to learn and where their skill gap might be that we haven't predicted. The next component that I really like is virtual classrooms. So virtual classrooms are online learning environments that sort of mimic the traditional classroom. They can be used from lectures, from online training, for a challenge or a program, or even if you want to test your evergreen course and you want to test it live. So you might have some group discussions, some group community chats. You could possibly even use one of the Thinkific communities that we saw yesterday, and delve in and make sure that you can test your content on a live basis. I tend to like them through challenge options, maybe where we do a 5 or a 6 week challenge and we talk about a topic or something along the way. This technically was a virtual classroom. It was a virtual classroom coming over the last couple of days, learning from us and learning to share information. Live coaching and mentoring. So I use live coaching and mentoring in my memberships, and they can be offered and provided on a one-on-one support basis. So you might offer a course and a program, and you might catch up with that person once or twice a week. Or you might then do it as a membership where you do small groups. Okay. So I like to offer my courses, it's evergreen. And if you want that additional support and that live connection with me, that's where you come into my membership. So that's how I've structured it. Some people like to structure it into courses, but so we got courses as evergreen, and then we've got membership. So we've got like the marketing circle, which gets all my courses plus membership, and then we've got the course creator circle, which is our process and a membership on a regular basis. How I include live coaching in both of those is I do a mix of Q&A where they can just come and throw their questions at me. And then I do another how-to session, which deep dives into a topic, maybe a little bit further around their interest levels or around what they're struggling around each and every month. So the other options, what else have we got? Q&A sessions. So they're great. Q&A sessions, like I love them. You just turn up and people come to you with questions, and it's fantastic. And quite often when things happen in the industry or things change, I'll say, look, I'm just throwing an open Q&A. I'll be here. Come ask me some questions. Great for memberships, great for challenges. And if you're running people through your evergreen course as a challenge, it's a great way to give them the components and then go, okay, come and ask me the questions. This is your homework this week. These are the bits you need to do. Come and ask me some questions. So that's another good option that we have when it comes to live training. Virtual workshops and challenges, which is similar to the virtual classroom, being tailored to different experiences. I like to put hands-on activities in mine, and I either like to run it as a 2-day or a 5-day, or over a series of weeks on a regular basis during each week. You've got to look at the content you're going to deliver in a workshop or a challenge, and just make sure that you've got enough break in between for them to do the exercises. We ran a course creation kickstart, which over 7 days was most probably achievable if people had nothing else on for the week, but it was better delivered over 6 weeks. And that was a lesson that we learnt from our students as we were going through. And that's, fair. And even today, you've had lots of information. And virtual events such as conferences and summits or trade shows can be held online to provide attendees with the opportunity to learn and network and connect with industry experts. And I'm going to use this moment to thank all of our amazing experts who have come in and shared their knowledge with you in this virtual summit, so that they have been able to share their expertise and connect with you, and you've got to know them and see some amazing products and information along the way. When we go through our teaching online, we need to set clear objectives. I got so used to doing G-script, I can tumble over my words now and it takes it out for me. We need to set clear objectives. We need to identify what the specific learning objective for the training is. No different to creating a course, really. And then we need to make sure that that's going to align with our target audience so that we can then decide how we're going to deliver that online training. That's the big component. The objective is there. We need to also make sure that we test our tech. We need to make sure that we have a stable internet connection. For the first 4 years I lived in this house in Bendigo, there was no stable internet connection. There was no way I could have run live online training. Everything had to be recorded. Everything had to be evergreen because we just didn't have a strong enough connection. Making sure then that we've got good video conferencing software and the equipment is working before the training session begins, because that's a really important thing that we go through. So we want to make sure that that is there. We need to make sure that we're preparing our materials such as handouts and slides and assessments, and make sure that they're somewhere where the students can access, and then hopefully hope that they're not going to have downtime like the ones that we've done now. Normally I would, show you our LinkTube link right now, but it's not up and running. They've got some site issues that they're working on, but it's a case of making sure that the materials are there and they've got some ways to download it. They have a backup. I've got a backup, as I said, of having most of those links into a document that we're presenting. And that then allows me to be able to have that backup to being able to come and share the materials in another way, or another series of links that happen from that point of view. Promote. Okay. Live training, live events is heartbreaking if you don't have the minimum number of attendees that you wish to have in there. However, do not ever not run them. Okay. The thing is, you never know if that live event trainee is going to be the one that converts through along the way. I've run training sessions for 2 people. I run them for 1 even. I've actually run them for 1 and still converted off those training sessions because that person got to spend some one-on-one time with me. So especially if we're looking at from webinars, rule of thumb in our house, in our office, and in this place here, is to make sure that you've got enough time to promote it. So we like to have 6 weeks. So I've got time to do promo videos, promote, record, put our login dates, make sure that we're adding the event to places like LinkedIn, like Eventbrite, like Facebook, and we're promoting the event and the date and the times and login details. And then we want to make sure that all of those details go into the email as well. And, I'm going to give it to you guys. Sometimes you will put all those details into information and landing pages and still people don't have access. So be prepared to, answer a few questions and that along the way, just in case someone doesn't have access to what they're looking for when it comes into finding that content. So the next component is to plan for engagement. So plan for people having a chat with you, having audience discussions, creating some questions along the way that will help people engage with you. As I've said before, drop me a smiley face, drop me an emoji, let me know that you can hear me, but also asking your people about questions. So I'm going to ask you all now, because we're on the plan for engagement one. What is the best engagement question that you've heard in a course? Because let's share it with each other. Let's do this collaboration of live training and hear the best engagement question that you've had within the course. For those of you who are classroom teachers like me, I had a good one yesterday, and it actually was nothing to do with the course teacher. He gets bored marking the roles. So instead of marking the role and them saying yes, he chooses something new for them to say each and every day. So it's either your favorite food, what's your song, or sing the next line of this. It keeps the students and him engaged in marking the role. And I just thought that was a great opportunity for making sure that we have engagement. So you may not be doing that, but you might do a round table or something like that. I'm keen to see what your engagement tips are from there. Be flexible with live online training, especially. We need to be prepared to adapt. We need to be open to feedback and suggestion from our audience. Not all feedback is valid. I'll give you that. But we do need to take feedback along the way and just make sure that everyone's feeling great. And, when things muck up or you muck up, just be honest with your people. Like I was, be honest and say, hey, I didn't do that, or I need more coffee, or whatever it is that you need to do. Be flexible and take those suggestions. And if they can't see something or they can't interact with something, try and be as flexible as you can to being able to move it through and get them what they need. Okay, and our next option, bear with me, is to follow up. So if you're doing these live engagement, what is your superpower? Yes, okay, I get that one too. It's a really good one, and that's actually where we came up and we found out finally my name was ideas are my superpower. It was one thing that I got asked in an event, and I really loved it. It's a really good one. I love that engagement tip. I'm just going to put it up on the screen. It's a really good one to being able to show your people what is your superpower. That is huge. Okay, so there we go. Let's see if we go from there. The other thing is when we do live online training, making sure that we actually follow up with our people. We want to collect our feedback. We want to evaluate where we're going. We also just want to make sure that we tell them what the next step is. So as part of this summit process, and it won't be today, it'll be most probably Monday, we'll do a wrap-up email that says, hey, this was what we did. Is there anything else that you want to learn? Those sorts of things. And we'll encourage people to email us back and let us know anything that they want to learn along the way. The component that we want to make sure that when we're doing that sort of stuff is just to make sure that we've got a good follow-up in place for our people along the way. So our checklist for making sure that we teach online. Do we have a good camera? Do we have a good microphone? Are we ready to follow up? And people do love, so I'll come back to that question in a second. Do we have a good follow-up? Do we have a nurture sequence? Is our registration form working? It's another big one. Does it work? Have we allowed enough time to promote? Okay, are we flexible, and are we ready? And are we functional to be able to get there? Are we punctual and being able to start on time? You will have noticed I'm a bit of a Nazi on this one about making sure that we are able to be there on time for each session and we're not holding up another presenter. Do we have Q&A? Have we allowed for Q&A sessions inside that space along the way as well? So teaching live online is a great skill. And one of the things that I'm going to ask you right now, and I don't think our QR code will be working still, is what will you teach online? What are you going to teach live? Think about the challenges. Think about those sorts of things that you can possibly teach live as a course creator to either lead to your course or to test out a theory about your course. What can you possibly teach live? Can you let me know in the comments? I would love to hear about it. Our person said that people do love to talk about themselves. Depending on the audience size, it's a great network and engagement activity. If you can't bring them on screen, have them drop it into chat. Have them let you know what they're doing inside the chat and those areas from there. It is all about being able to engage with our people. So when we're delivering live training, I'm waiting if anyone's got any questions, please ask me them. I'm here keen to see what you will teach live, but if you've got any questions about teaching live, feel free to be able to Attack me, ask me along the way. Hey, Dot, that's an awesome one. Follow along science experiments, and that yet they can almost get the little kit. They get the list beforehand. See, I'm planning this for you now because we just got excited. But follow along. These are the things you need to get from home, and let's do that science experiment. I love that. That's awesome. I think that is awesome option for you to be able to teach that. I am cool to see that. Please let me know when the registrations kick in. That would be amazing. I'm keen to see what else everyone else has got to teach or look at teaching online. So, okay. So, for example, online dating security, Kat, awesome. Bear with me. Teaching live business planning and health topics and new industry focus areas explainers. I like that really well. And Kat's looking at teaching online dating security, using SafeNet, reverse image profiles. Oh, yes. And how to make a profile. I think they're really good things to teach live where people are in that component of needing to ask questions and ask the questions that find info themselves. I think that's a really big one as well. Okay, so we've got some good live ones. When we start to think about what our live options are, like Dot's got the follow along the science experiment, she might put together a term because kids are used to school terms of follow along science experiments that they could tap into a live class on a weekly lesson. So we start to go, okay, well, are we doing a virtual classroom or are we doing a teaching option from there? And Kat's got the option for here of her online dating. So she might actually run maybe a week or a 2-week challenge on how to get yourself set up for online dating. It's an option from there. So we can look at webinars that maybe do touch on, but we can also look at challenges from there. How to unpack their creative business. Here we go. I'm putting it up on screen. How to unpack their creative business dreams. From Javert. I'm hoping I've got that right. I love that one. How to actually take those dreams and put them into market. I think that's a great, I would run that as a live challenge type situation, maybe with the add-on of one-on-one coaching, because that gives them the option to tap in and get some one-on-one coaching from you as well. So team, it has been amazing. Have you got any questions for me about teaching live? Otherwise, I will take a short break before we come back to working with our lovely man Lucas, but I'm seriously teaching live, course creation, automation. I didn't get time to do any questions about either of those. If you've got any questions about the course creation journey, let's spend the next couple of minutes answering those for you. And then we can delve into other things, and I'll grab those resource links and those sorts of things to make sure that we've got all of that. And see if our link is back up and working on LinkTube. If it's not, now, for those of you who are teaching live and want to live stream to multiple platforms at once, the platform we're using here today is Restream. We do love it. It is a great platform for you to be able to connect out and share with your people. And it's a really handy tool. Now, it looks like our link is back working. So here is our link, which will have all the replay links. That was the Facebook group. That was not it. Bear with me. It looks like the LinkTube link is back working. So I'm going to pop it back in there and you can grab all the tools, and including I'll put Restream in there as well because we've got some perks. So some of the link tools and links I've mentioned today, we've got perks. I'll make sure they're added all back into the replay videos on YouTube here, which you'll get in an email summary on Monday. They'll also be put into the links here as well to help you being able to get in there. And we should be right to go from there. Hopefully we are good to go. Any questions? Come on. I know people. I've been teaching online since 2016. I've been teaching with Thinkific that long. I have been, marketing courses and those sorts of things. So come on. Someone's got to have a question. I mean, I can't leave it, but I figured we've got a few more minutes to go. So yeah, we use Restream to go to multiple platforms. That's that one. We also, there's StreamYard and a couple of options out there as well. You can also embed Restreams directly into lessons inside Thinkific if you were looking at running your live training that way. You would have heard me say to Aaron yesterday that if I'm running live workshops, I tend to use Google because Google Meet is part of my Google subscription, and we have all our people come on camera and chat with us that way. So if we have no questions coming out, but everyone's got access to the links and the stuff that they need to, and hopefully the QR code will work in our next session, I'm going to give us a break. Let you take a few minutes, go grab a cup of coffee, grab a hot one if you need one, grab a Milo or whatever you need to grab to make sure that you are ready for our final 2 sessions of the summit, which is there. Okay, Kat's asked me a question. Beautiful. I love it. Yay, see questions. Yes. When do you know you're ready to publish your course? Oh my gosh. I love this one. Okay. You never know. You're never going to be 100% perfect, but I like to try and publish a course on pre-order. The reason I like to do a pre-order or a pre-registration is to see when we've got enough content. When you feel you are never going to feel 100% perfectly ready to teach your course. So it's about making sure that you've got enough content in there that you're comfortable to be able to teach. Someone told me this once, and it's not a bad thing to think about. We need to be a step above a step or two steps, a couple of steps ahead of our students. And this was when I was teaching in management. And I was worried that I wasn't good enough to do this leadership role. And that you just need to be another couple of steps above your staff and keep being a couple of steps above your staff to be able to do this. Same sort of thing goes for course creation. You need to be above where your audience that you're teaching is, but you don't have to be the expert in absolutely everything in that realm. But once you've got a bit of an outline, you've got a little bit of content, you can open up for pre-order and see how things go. A month or two's lead along the way. Any tips for recording live sessions? Yes, I use Restream. The reason I use Restream, we use Google Meet for anything else, but the reason I use Restream for this sort of stuff is it's now going into Descript as we get out of here, and I can get the timestamps and the editing and all of those things from there. If you're going to record live lessons for yourself, where is it? It's not here on my desk. Oh my gosh, I've reset up my office and I don't have my little recording movie thing. For you, I would get a little sorry, bear with me, a little Pivo or little moving platform that'll move with you while you're doing the science experiments in your live lessons. That would be good. What would you suggest testing a course for? Would you suggest testing a course for a lower fee rather than charging a full fee? I normally absolutely do that. I normally say this is our beta run or this is our test run, and you're the first group of people coming through. And I quite often do what we call as a launch, and letting people come through and get that program. And I make it really clear to them up front. You're the first people through, so you're getting it at a highly discounted rate, and you can go from there. Charles, you definitely can ask me a question about the last session that we had running. I'm happy to take most questions about course creation while we're here. And I'm so glad I will find it somewhere. If you saw the rest of my office, in fact, actually, no, I'm going to show you. I literally moved my office around, and I want you to see how much of a mess the rest of it actually is. So that's the mess that is the rest of my office while I move from one side of the room to the other. So I wanted to show you that you can run a session and not have everything perfect around you while you are in that process. So I'm glad that you are coming through. So yes, Charles, and you're more than welcome to ask me a question about the last session. So please feel free to do so. Any more questions? Keep them coming. I'm happy to take them now, or we'll take them in panel later. But I really wish I could find that little thing because he's so cool. And you put your smartphone in and it moves with you. And I bought it because I wanted the bright, shiny object. The other one that might be handy as well, the other one that would be handy as well for that is the overhead ones as well. Okay, workflow after class. Okay, so on teaching live or after the class is recorded, we've got some workflows inside the Course Creator Circle that delve into that a little bit further. About what to do post and session, and some of that will be in the Course Creator Circle guide as well. But basically, after your course is recorded or after your session is being able to record it, it's still a strong nurture sequence. It's about sharing a notification and automation, about reminding your students different learning things along the way. I didn't show an automation for that one, but then I do quite often. We will do a nurture sequence that reminds them about different elements of the course, and I'm catching up to Charles's question now. We also make sure that we go through that process about making sure that they've got reminders about what they're needing to learn, and it's about making sure that you connect in those ways that people can really make sure that if there's an ebook or there's a download, or based on you think that they're going to be 2 or 3 days in, or the trigger if they've completed this lesson, okay, yay, you've completed that lesson, you being able to do that. It really depends on the course what that nurture sequence is going to be, and it's different for each course we create here, but we tend to like to have about 5 or 6 emails that we'll go through with each course, unless it's a straight up 1 hour, 1 session course, because we're not going to give them them a nurture sequence for those ones. My Marketing Circle members get an email each and every week from us on an automation with different tips along the way that will help them out from there. Behind the scenes is definitely always interesting. I'm glad you love my real office from there. Can you make a course? Bear with me, I'm reading Kat's one here. Can you make a course on how to launch, test run a pre-order inside the Course Creators Circle? I haven't done a live and pre-order. We've got building a pre-order area from there. We do have some opportunities on how to make to launch and how to market a launch inside, and there's some more stuff coming into the guide that is definitely there, but I can most probably do a training session, a VIP training session inside the Course Creators Circle about launching and pre-orders and maybe doing some live stuff from there. Then do I put it into Peppertype to do the sales copy? Not always. We might look at the ideas from there. The reason we don't always do it in Peppertype is because we're a team of copywriters. So sometimes it's easier for us just to spurt the ideas out of our head. Another top tip when it comes to copywriting is using Google's Talk to Type. You can use the audio to just talk out what you want the sales page to say. It is very cool in being able to do that. But yes, we most probably believe if we're stuck for ideas, we'd use something like Peppertype or Writer to be able to give us the ideas for the sales page and the key learning criteria from there. Dorothy would love some more camera angles on placements and angles when doing live demos. So live demos, quite often, if you can do it, I'm seeing if I've got a second. I do have a second tripod here. Quite often what I would be setting up is our camera, which is currently to front of me over here. If I could get a second camera angle in and the internet is strong enough, this is the other component when we're teaching live. If it's not strong enough, stick with one camera angle. I would then take something like this with a smartphone in it and have it sitting about over here. So it was recording a side angle of what I was doing. It's also handy when you're doing videos to have two cameras if you can. Talk to one and be what they call off camera, talking to the other camera on the side over that period of time. When you're doing live demos, using a tripod like this again, and then if it's something that you need them to see as you're doing it on the desk, the tripod would actually still be sitting down, but your phone would be pointing down towards the desk. So that's another handy one if you're doing live demos. Most of this stuff can be done with smartphones, and it's almost better now. Half the smartphones have got better things in it than any camera that you will get from there. So that most probably is going to help from there. I'm glad everyone loved the real office. I figured I should show everyone what we were going through today. Okay, so that I'm hoping that helps. And I'm thinking that, yeah, we maybe do some more stuff on sales pages. Kat, if you haven't seen it, there is a walkthrough on creating everything for pre-sale. And I think we've got some stuff in there on a little bit more resources then about how to get ready for launch and pre-order and those sorts of things. Lots of things. It's lots of checklists. Do you really need the tripod? Yeah, that's seriously, I think it's an eBay or a Kogan buy. I think it cost me $20. It's one of my favorites because it fits down to that when I'm taking it out with me versus my rather large tripod that's sitting beside me. And yes, Charles, do you need both? No, absolutely not. You don't need both. We have both because once again, we're a marketing team here and we like to try things. And we also get to do software on a regular basis. So no, you don't have to have both. We also use another one called Brainwork, which I think I've included in our tool list, but it's more for creating blog outlines and podcast outlines. Each one of these tools has their own, what I call zone of genius, their own stuff that they're good at. So Writer in particular, we like for social. We know it does social very well for us. So that's why we tend to keep that in that space as well. So that most probably explains why we have it. And lots of these things, we just got to work out which one's right for us. But if I was to choose between the two, I'd most probably choose Peppertype. That would be my say right now along the way. And then that will hopefully help you in that side space. Okay, do we have any more questions or are we going to leave some for the panel and take a break? I'm open either way. Give it a few seconds. Let you guys be able to catch up to the stream. Okay, I'm going to take it that there are no more questions coming through. Let's take a break. Dorothy called it. She said, take a break. Let's take a break. We'll come back with Lucas and we'll look at marketing and we will get out from there. Hopefully the tripod is now, the QR code is now working as well as the LinkTube link. I'm looking forward to see you all soon. I am going to go and make a fresh cup of coffee and be back with Lucas, and we will talk course creation marketing and then our panel. See you all soon.